Hey, my name is Dustin Ferguson. I'm also known as Dark Infinity and MC Dirty D. I first got into filmmaking back in, it was, I think, 2005, actually, when I was fan editing. I am a self taught editor. I did a lot of fan edits under the name Retro Horror Remix using Sony's Vegas. I released about 100 of them. They were like extended versions of movies, composites, where I take like uncut scenes of movies and like splice them back into the movie and release them for free on the internet for like the fans. And I did a lot of those. I met a lot of different directors doing that. I met Jeff Burr doing the composite I did of Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. And I also met John Kleiza, a writer and producer for the Sleepaway Camp films. And that way, he actually ran the website and he was basically in charge of Sleepaway Camp 4. And so he reached out to me telling me that he was a fan of my work, my editing work, and that they were looking for someone to compile that movie together. It was originally shot in 1992, and then basically it was unfinished, and they were trying to get it finished back, I guess it was about 2008. And so I agreed to do it as a labor of love. And about 4 years later, it came out officially, Sleepaway Camp 4. So that's sort of how I got started in the industry. But my first feature film was a movie called Terror at Black Tree Forest that John actually wrote, and I did that in 2009. Well, technically speaking, I've been making stuff since 2007. That was when I made Scalps to The Return of DJ. It was a fan film, the first thing I ever did. It was my film school. It was teaching myself how to use a camera and lighting and sound equipment. I got together with some coworkers at Godfather's Pizza and went out in my dad's backyard and shot this 20-minute short film and actually sent it to Fred Olin Ray, and he ended up including it on his official Blu-ray of Scalps that came out from Retro Media, so check it out, even though it's not my best work, but it's how I learned to do stuff. So shortly after that, I did a couple short films, a movie called Horror House, and then Return to Horror House, and then I did the Skunk Ape story, and then in 2009, I did Terror at Black Tree Forest, which at the time was actually called Woods of Terror, but the writer, John Kleiza, suggested that we change the title to something a little more catchy and specific, so we went with Terror at Black Tree Forest. And then I actually made a sequel to that called Escape to Black Tree Forest, and then Black Tree Forest 3. Well, in the course of my career to date, I've done 80 feature films and somewhere between 80 and 90 music videos. So I've done a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. I average about 10 movies a year. I think this year I'm sitting at about 10 or 11 movies. I'm working on a lot of projects right now, actually. Currently is 5G Zombies, which comes out May 1st. It's like an anthology film involving John R. Walker from the UK, Tony Newton's involved, Sean C. Phillips. A lot of people came together to make this sort of like shoot yourself quarantine movie that we did. So we're putting that out on May 1st. I have The Beast Beneath, which is a TV movie, which is being produced by Lee Turner. And that's going to be hopefully shooting in the next couple months. And then right after that, we have Hell of the Screaming Undead 3D, which is going to be a 3D zombie movie that's like an homage to the Italian zombie movies like Zombie 3 and Nightmare City and all the Bruno Matti stuff that I really, really enjoy. Movies by like Lucio Fulci, like City of the Living Dead and The Beyond. So it's sort of like my throwback to those movies. And then, let's see, later we have Arachnado, which is going to be spiders and tornadoes, so that's pretty crazy. And then let's see, coming out soon, I have a documentary called Direct to Video, which was like my expose on 90s horror movies, the ones that came out basically direct to video. Movies like Dolly Dearest and the Full Moon movies and Ice Cream Man and Psycho Cop 2. So that was a lot of fun, worked with a lot of people on that, got a lot of actors and directors from the era together and made a really fun, sort of heartwarming documentary. So that's going to be coming out soon. I have VHS Violence 1 and 2 coming out. Just recently, Aliens in LA was released. Also, Nemesis 5 came out about last year, and that's still doing the rounds. It's on all the streaming services, Redbox, Fandango, iTunes, Amazon. You can find those movies there. And I've sort of just been doing a lot of like editing and releasing. My company, SCS Entertainment, right now, it's sort of like a combination of creating films and distributing films. It's a means for me to distribute my own films as well as other independent filmmakers that I work with. And so I've got a lot of movies coming out. We do 1 to 2 DVD releases every Tuesday. And then the first of the month, I also release movies through my streaming service. which the address will be below. And then I also put the address for the Kunaki site where you can buy our DVDs. So lately I've been doing a lot of that with the quarantine stuff going on, but like I said, as soon as this stuff ends, we're going to dive right into the beast beneath and pretty much aren't going to stop until the year gets over. I know at the end of the year, I'm going to be doing 2 different TV web series, doing one called Creatures, which is sort of like a throwback to Monsters, one of my favorite shows from the 80s. It's an anthology show, a bunch of different directors doing different episodes. And then I'm also doing a season 2 of The Veil, which is going to be this time hosted by Mel Novak. And so he'll be hosting and starring, have a little role in each episode. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and that's going to be sort of where I cap the year off at. You know, pretty often I'm asked what advice I could give to up-and-coming filmmakers, and I always say the same thing, and it's just go out and do it. Don't hesitate. Don't think that you need to have fancy equipment, fancy sound equipment, or an expensive camera to do it. Like, the first thing I ever did, I shot on one of those high 8 cameras, and I think the microphone was attached to the camera. Our light was our cell phones. You just got to go out and start. It's once you go out and do it and kind of see what works and what doesn't work and what you can pull off is when you can start to grow as a filmmaker. Because if you don't just start somewhere, then you're never really filmmaking. Even if it's not your best work, it's the stuff that you're going to learn from so that eventually you can make really good films. So if you just have your cell phone, you only have 1 or 2 people, friends or relatives, just write something that you can do with those people, go out and do it, learn from your mistakes, and then do it again. That's pretty much the best advice I could give. I know I didn't go to film school, and I now have over 80 films in my filmography, and I'm growing, and I'm still doing 10 movies a year. And I started out, just with a little camera, and even sometimes still I go out with my cell phone when needed and capture B-roll in different shots. And I think with the technology we have today, it makes it really easy for people to have access to the equipment they need, at a more affordable rate. So definitely look into what your options are, but don't let anything stop you. If you really want to go out and do it and you have a passion, use what you have and go out and do it. Okay, well, I did kind of already go over where you can get a lot of my movies and my streaming service, but again, definitely, it's only $4.99 a month for our streaming service. We add a good 7 or 8 movies a month plus new episodes of Tales from the Grave, so definitely check that out. I think that for the price of a Taco Bell combo meal, you really can't go wrong. It's really good entertainment. We've currently got around 60 or 70 movies on there, and it's growing rapidly. Like I said, I do about 2 DVD releases every Tuesday, so make sure that you check that stuff out. A lot of great filmmakers involved in that, like Tony Newton, who definitely is responsible for what you're watching right now. People like Sam Mason Bell, a lot of different filmmakers from all around, Michael Epstein has stuff, Jason Horton. So definitely check us all out. You're not just supporting me, but you're supporting sort of a whole bunch of filmmakers from the LA scene and worldwide, really. We all have a passion. We're all just creative people. We're just trying to do what we love. We don't charge a lot, because we just think that what we do is art, and we put our hearts into it, and it's not always about the dollar to us. But purchasing things like DVDs directly from us and subscribing to the streaming service is really what makes it possible for us to just keep going. I earn my living this way. I have to do a certain amount of movies every year to be able to pay my rent. And a big part of that is my fans. When my fans buy my stuff and they buy our t-shirts and pre-order things, that's how I can keep going, And so little things like when I see an email notification that I got a new subscriber, that makes my day, That's just another person showing their support. And I think that that's about the best thing in today's day and age you can do for us indie filmmakers. So again, once more, here is my streaming website and the Kunaki website. So definitely appreciate it if you guys show your support, and I really appreciate you. We do this for the art and for the love, and just because of horror and our strong passion. So everything that you guys do means the world to me. I'm very blessed to have you guys as my fans, and I'm definitely very honored to be a part of this collective. Thank you.